It was a sunny day on the South Roman Railway, and Tanner was pulling Indian Dolly on his route. Today, Dexter was taken ill, so Miss Lindsay had reassigned Tanner to take his passengers on Indian Dolly until Dexter returns. Tanner doesn't mind. He knew that other engines such as Daphne, Lisa, or Joanne will be looking after his own coaches for a while, and he is grateful to have all his friends along the branch lines. Even there were some often teasing him about being late, like Bessie the bus, who is coming around the road. "Hello, slow coach!" Tanner didn't like being called slow coach. "Ignore her, Tanner. She was only teasing you." "Ugh, I know what you two mean by that, but every time I've come to take my own passengers, Bessie came along and thinks I was the only engine who is not on time like some engines are, and she's always been at some stations before I did. Plus, you two are not slow coaches. You can go really fast like I can." She's not talking about us. Look at that. 2 minutes early. It's a good thing I hurried you, or you would have been late. That's not true. I always get my passengers to the station on time. You must be slowing down though, Tanner. Lately, I seem to beat you to the level crossing every time. I'm not slowing down. I'll show you. Let's race again. Tanner and Bessie thought racing is great fun. "Ha ha! I'm going to win today, Tanner." "No, I will, Bessie." Whoa! Ah! Sometimes, Bessie is quicker, especially when Tanner has to wait for sheep on the line. And sometimes, Tanner is quicker, especially when Bessie has to stop for workmen repairing the road. Whoa! Slow down, Tanner! You burst a valve, and you're rattled and an axle loose. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. But every time they have a race, no matter how fast Tanner puffs. Oh no! Bessie manages to win. You really are very slow these days, Tanner. Tanner couldn't understand it. He wondered why Bessie is always there first. I thought I was going faster than ever to get through the crossing first, but I suppose not. Later, Tanner met Bessie again, but he wasn't sure if he was happy to see her. Don't be cross, Tanner. Would you like me to tell you a secret? What secret? I've been rerouted. Now I take a shortcut so my route is much quicker. There, where I saw the workmen working on the road, I have to take another route, at the moment, right on the other side of the mountain, you see. The other side of the mountain? I've never heard of it over there. Oh, that's because you can only go where there are tracks, and there are no tracks on the other side of the mountain, Tanner. But what was it like? Oh, Tanner, it's amazing. There are jungling trees and a sparkling waterfall, and there is always a rainbow. Always? Wow, I should like to see it myself. Of course, although you never know what it is like when you get to go there and see for yourself. Tanner was excited. Although he didn't know Bessie could take a shortcut, he was happy to go find 3 things on the other side of the mountain. Later, as he traveled along back on his branch line, he passed the mountain that Bessie was talking about. Do you think there's really always a rainbow on the other side of the mountain? Oh, I don't know, Tanner. I don't know either. Bessie's just saying it to pull your wheels. Yes, She was just making this up to make you believe it's a real thing. Tanner wasn't convinced. That night, however, Tanner was very cross. It's not even fair. I enjoy racing with Bessie, but surprisingly, she has been rerouted. What does rerouted mean? It means to go to the different way to the one you usually go on. Oh, what's wrong with that, Tanner? Bessie takes the shortcut now, so she always wins. Although she told me she only took it because there's some workmen working on the road, where she had taken another route right on the other side of the mountain. The other side of the mountain? I've never heard of it before. That's what I said. So what's it like out there? Bessie says there is a jungling trees, a sparkling waterfall, and always a rainbow. I wanted to find out where it is, and I've been wondering if it was true from what she told me. I don't know, Tanner, but I believe it sounds amazing. I thought rainbows are in the sky and not behind mountains. Maybe Bessie says it to make this up. If I really want to go to the mountain, I only wanted to find out which way I want to go, so it'll take me there. Then, an idea flew into Joanne's funnel. If you like, Tanner, why don't you take a shortcut? Then you could be rerouted just like Bessie. Tanner thought it was a great idea. But Indian Dolly didn't. But there's no shortcuts on your branch line, Tanner. And there's no way you can find a track that takes you to travel on the other side of the mountain. Plus, if you go another way, you could miss a station or make your passengers late. But Tanner didn't listen. He was determined. If Bessie can be rerouted, so can I. Tanner arrived at Sheffield Station, just as Bessie arrived too. Some passengers got off, and some more passengers got on. But as soon as he could, Tanner rushed away again. Bye-bye, Bessie! See you soon, Tanner! Tanner knew he didn't want to lose another race, but he still wanted to find a track that takes him to the mountain. So he came to a junction where they were already switched. That must be a shortcut. But he only ended up running in a longer loop siding and came back onto his branch line again. Then, Tanner found another track that led away from the branch line. This must be a shortcut. We don't think so, Tanner. That's not a shortcut there. This time, Tanner ended up in a goods yard. The passengers were starting to grumble, but Tanner didn't want to give up. Finally, Tanner spotted an old track that led into the woods. There it is! So that's where I'll go to travel onto the other side of the mountain. It'll take me there soon. But there's no shortcuts, Tanner! And there are no more tracks to take you to the mountain too! Meanwhile, Bessie was waiting for Tanner at the crossing. That's funny. Tanner never usually takes this long. Bessie's passengers were starting to grumble too. So Bessie decided to set off on her way again. However, she didn't know that Tanner had took the track where he didn't know they hadn't taken him to the mountain at all. Tanner was enjoying himself and very excited. But he was so busy dreaming about the mountain that he forgot to look where he was going. No! Tanner! Look out! Bust my barrier! Josh, look out! Oh! Tanner! Ah! Help! I can't stop! Luckily, nobody was hurt. But Josh and the passengers were not happy. Now, they were going to be very late indeed. Tanner felt terrible. And then he saw Bessie. Bessie was surprised to see Tanner. Goodness me, Tanner! Are you alright? Oh, yes, Bessie. I was trying to find a shortcut, but I've come off the rails, and now my passengers will be late. Don't worry, Tanner. I'll take your passengers for you, and I'll bring help to get you out of there. So after the passengers got on Bessie, she set off to take them to the next station. Tanner was thankful his friend was there to help, although he still felt very silly. It was almost dark when Maxwell and the breakdown train came to lift Tanner back onto the rails. Miss Lindsay was very cross. Your passengers don't like to be late, Tanner. Once again, you have caused confusion and delay for not paying attention to the signal and Josh coming with the goods train, and that's how accidents happen. I'm sorry, Miss Lindsay. I didn't mean to. I was hoping to find a shortcut so I could find a mountain that had jungling trees, a sparkling waterfall, and always a rainbow. Bessie told me so. Well, you must have heard it all around, Tanner. Bessie's story is just a silly make-believe, which means you've been trying to see it for yourself and not even realizing it wasn't real. Yes, ma'am. I promise when I'm once prepared, I will stick to my branch line from now on. A few days later, Tanner was back on the track. He arrived at Southwestern Station to pick up his own coaches. Dexter was already there. He had been fully repaired and was back to be with Indy and Dolly. Good morning, Tanner. It's so good to have you back. You too, Dexter. I'm looking so much better than before. And Tanner told Dexter about what happened before. It seems to me that you've been tricked by Bessie about shortcuts and mountains lately. But it's good to know that you've learned your lesson, and she had apologized that she got you in trouble. Yes, indeed. Good thing that I'm back running on our branch line, so we can still focus on our work and not to think about shortcuts or the mountains after all. Tanner was glad to be home, and he and Bessie had been firm friends ever since the day of his accident during his time finding shortcuts to take to the mountains. Tanner and Bessie both liked racing while taking their passengers, but Tanner was most careful when traveling along his route, and never once again believed in some silly stories, especially it had been made up by Bessie.